rester comme il faut. So this is my second time filming this video, and this actually proves one of the points that I'm making in this video, but I really think that this time will be better. I really do, because the first video wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. And so guys, this is my take on 5 things that you might be doing that are making you unhappy. Okay, first of all, guys, I want to say Happy New Year. I know it's a bit late, but it's better late than never, okay? I'm saying Happy New Year because it's my first video here on YouTube in 2022. And also I want to say, like, sorry for the people that watch my videos, because I wasn't consistent with my YouTube, and I wanted to be consistent with my YouTube. It's just that last year was really a hard year for me, and last semester was really the worst time for myself. It was really not a good time. Emotional, damn it. So I know I always joke about the fact that I have an existential crisis, and I do, question my identity, my values, the things that I believe in. But the last semester I really felt depressed, and I'm not saying that I had a depression, because I don't think it's fair to say that, because it's a real diagnosis, and I don't think I had the criteria, but I really felt depressed. And it's 2 different things. So that's why I'm making this video, because I want to share with you guys things that I've learned, because I started seeing a therapist. I didn't have like a lot of session with her, but I could feel the difference, and it really helps me do that, like the cognitive reconstruction. And it's funny because I studied psychology, so there are a lot of things that I learned and that I know, but when you're the one that needs help, it's not the same, because you cannot, when it's your situation, you cannot see the bigger picture. And I think for myself, going to therapy was taking a step back. And even though I think I didn't have like the worst situation, I think I was having trouble, and it helped me have a clearer view of what I wanted, who I am, and the things that I was doing that made me feel like bad, and have this stress. So this is my take on 5 things that you might be doing, because I was doing them, that make you unhappy. And this is really a personal thing. It's not I'm not a professional, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, okay? So I'm really giving you my personal experience and my take on them. So yeah, if you really need help, there are a lot of resources to help you. There are lines that you can call. There are for different situations, different issues. So don't hesitate, just call if you need help. But let's go into this video for now, okay? So the first thing that you might be doing that makes you unhappy is saying yes to everything. And this one, we know about it because it's all over social media. I think that you shouldn't say yes to everything, because you're not respecting yourself when you do that, and you're going over and always sacrificing yourself, and it makes you miserable. We know about it, but the thing is, a lot of time people are thinking like, but I'm not saying yes to everything. Of course you're not, okay? Nobody says yes to everything, literally everything, but you go over what you can give, over your limit, and you're sacrificing yourself for certain things. And saying yes, in certain areas of your life, you're able to say no, but in others, you're not able and you're giving more and more and more and more. And the thing is, the more you can give, the people are just gonna, take it, and people are not gonna put a limit to that. You are the person that has to, identify your limit and say that this is it, so all that to say, maybe you're not saying yes to literally everything, but you're not respecting your boundaries, and you're sacrificing yourself it might be in all areas, and it might be in a specific area, and that makes you suffer, causes you pain. And in my case, I had to think about why was I saying yes to everything. And in my case, I felt that it was just that I felt I wasn't giving enough. I wasn't giving enough, and I felt that I should be able to do this, should be able to do that. I should be able to be a student. I should be able to work. I should be able to have the body. I should be able to be like influencer. I should be able, all those things. And I was putting so much pressure on myself that I wasn't happy, and that was my source of kind of saying yes to everything. But for you it might be different, but it's just to realize that I'm not respecting my boundaries, and I'm sacrificing myself. And the fact that I'm always saying I should do this, I should do that, and put that pressure on me and take more than I can take, doesn't make me happy, And also, we're gonna come on that on another point, so I'm not gonna say it now. But yeah, that's it. And it's really hard, but there are things that you can do. I was watching a video the other day, and the guy was saying that in a period of time, a period that that is gonna be hard for you, that you're gonna have a lot of responsibilities, things to do, you can, before that, decide to say no to everything. And I really like the idea of that. It's just to prepare yourself to say no. And since you're saying no to everything that comes to you, you don't feel bad because you're disappointing someone. And also, you don't have to think about that decision, because that decision was made before. So now you can just know, you don't have to do the process, the thinking process, and just give your decision that was already made. And it's so much easier. And I think there are a lot of things that other than that you can do, like giving yourself time to make a decision. When someone asks you something, you don't have to give a response now. You can just say to the person that I need time to think about it. And by giving time to yourself, it becomes easier for you to analyze, am I gonna be able to take that on my plate? And also, the more time you put between you and that decision, the easier it is to say no. That's a little trick. So the second thing that you might be doing that causes you unhappiness is being harsh on yourself. And it really goes with the first one, because for myself, I didn't realize that I realized that I was a little bit hard on myself. But it was in therapy that I kind of have that, revelation that you should be kind to yourself. And that sounds weird, because it's like obvious that you should be kind to yourself. And everyone takes that for granted. But at the end of the day, to mindfully, intentionally take that decision that I'm gonna be kind to myself is not the same, because the intention that you have behind it gives more power to that. Because the fact that everyone knows that you have to be kind to yourself, you're not putting effort, you don't have an intention behind it, and it makes a huge difference when you have that intention behind it. And when I was talking about to my therapist, she made me realize that I was really harsh on myself. The amount of time in a session that I was saying that oh, I know this is dumb, I know that I'm stupid, I know I shouldn't think that, I know that, or maybe I should put more effort, maybe I'm not putting enough effort, maybe I'm just lazy. And she was like, why are you so hard on yourself? And she said, you're really using like a lot of judgment towards you, you're really using a lot of negative criticism towards you. And at first it's not that I didn't believe her, but I don't know, I didn't, it's not that I didn't believe her, but it was, for me, it was so obvious that you should be kind to yourself, that I was like, but I had nothing to say. At the end of the day, I had nothing to say. And after that, when I was talking to her, I became aware of the times that I was saying something negative about myself. And it was so often that I was like, Abby, this doesn't work. Doesn't work. And I don't think I realized before that how much I was hard on myself. That I knew, but I didn't realize how much I was. And now I'm in the process of, okay, it's okay to say to not be harsh on yourself, not be hard on yourself, but it's a different process to say that I'm gonna practice kindness towards me. And the thing is, most of the time we have more kindness for others than for us, at least in my case. And I don't have like a concrete way of practicing this, but the fact that now I know and I've put it in my intentions to be kind to myself, just that change makes it better. And when I do things, instead of I didn't understand this, I'm stupid. Okay, I didn't understand 20% of that thing. That doesn't mean that I'm stupid. Why didn't I understand that? Instead of saying I failed at something, okay, but you still did like a huge part of it, but there's a little part that you didn't understand, that you didn't succeed. Go see that and understand it, but don't say that everything is a failure just because you didn't succeed that little part. So it just things like that. And I think it just made me feel better. I don't know how to explain this, but just this change in my mindset made me feel better. And when I look at things, I'm trying to see the reality instead of my perception of the reality. Like, I succeed at 80%. That doesn't mean, yes, I didn't understand 20%. Okay, but why? Let's see that and understand it and maybe get help. And this brings me to my third point. So the third point is not asking for help when you need it. Okay, that one, I don't know for you, okay? I don't know for you, but for myself, I'm not used to asking help. And I've been used to handling things by myself. And when there's something that doesn't work, I'm just gonna try to find a way to make it work, and I'm not gonna ask people. And that, it could come from a lot of different things for me. But it's not a good thing. That's for sure. I'm the kind of person, if I ask someone to help me with something and they don't respond, or I don't know, because of their schedule they forget and they don't follow through with that, I'm not gonna ask twice. Or maybe I'm gonna ask twice, but I'm not gonna ask a third time. I'm the kind of person, if I send you a text, I say to you that I would need help with that, and you say like, okay, but when the day come, I don't know, for whatever reason you forget, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it myself. And it's really not a good way to be. And I think with mental health issues, often we are afraid to ask help because we're gonna, if I ask help for that, this means that I'm not strong enough. Maybe the person is gonna view me as lazy. The person will not understand my situation. It's difficult to be vulnerable in front of someone else. That's why it's really important to have like friends, family, or people around you that support you and can listen to you, and to have that support system. But also, if you're going through something and for a different reason you feel that nobody around you can understand you, or you're really feeling like a distress, or whatever the reason, you need a professional help, don't hesitate. Go take that go to that professional and get that help. And it's really taboo, at least in my community, there's not a lot of people that are gonna tell you that they want to therapy, but it doesn't make you less. And for myself, when I went to the therapist, I was actually really stressed, and when I started to talk to her, it was the first time in my life that I felt listened to, like really someone really listened what I was feeling. And the really fun thing about a therapist is that they don't have like a connection to you other than one of a therapist and a client, and because of that they don't have like the bias, at least they shouldn't have the bias that comes with the relationships, and it's easier to tell them things, and they really become like a whiteboard where you write everything that you're going through. And what's really fantastic about that is they can highlight the part that you can't see necessarily, or because it's too big for you to see everything, because they are not in the situation with you, they're outside of it. And also they can make connections with different things, and the connections that you weren't even aware of. And just the fact that they listen to you, it's really like a huge benefit. And so all that to say, it's good to talk to your friend, and I really encourage people to, whenever they go through something, to talk to the people around them, because actually usually you have trust with that person. And when you feel that it's too heavy for you to bear, or too heavy for your friend to help you with, don't hesitate to get the help, because at the end of the day, the longer you wait, the harder it's gonna be for you, the heavier the mental burden is gonna be, and that's when you break down. And in my case, that was it. I wasn't going through, the situation wasn't like a huge one, but I was accumulating so much stuff, and I didn't give myself time to process those stuff, even though I thought I was processing them, and also a lot of different things. And I've been thinking about going to therapy like since long ago, and at least in the last year it was really present that I should maybe get that help, but I never did it because I thought that my situation wasn't big enough. And there's nothing like a big situation. I mean, yes, there are cases that are heavier, but if you feel that your situation is causing you pain, that is a good enough reason to go to therapy. So yeah. Whew. The fourth thing that you might be doing that makes you unhappy is, oh, sorry about that, is comparing yourself with others. And this one is not a new one. Everyone knows about it, you know, and we still can't do it. And a part of that is, you know, your brain does it, you know, naturally, because your brain looks for patterns, and the way it looks for pattern is comparing one pattern to the other and see, like, and comparing to see what they are, the similarities and the difference. So our brains do that, okay? So in a way, we're natural comparators. I don't know how you say that, but that doesn't mean that you cannot change that, okay? I think you have to be careful, because most of the time, at least for myself, I was comparing myself to people that, no, they don't have the same characteristic as me. And at some point, my roommate was telling me, you know how you're comparing yourself to your classmate, but you know how you have a whole degree, you survived 3 years, 4 years of university, and you're working, and you're the one that is responsible for all your bills, including school. And she was like going on like that. She's like, you cannot compare yourself to those people because they don't have the same issues, they don't have the same stress, they don't have the same time, they don't have the same energy. And when she told me that, I was like, yes, it's true. And you know how in science, when they do research, often they use like a group of comparison, and that group has to have the same characteristic as the population that you want to transfer your result to, because if they don't have the same characteristic, it's not the transfer of information of result on that population is not valid, because they don't have the same characteristics. So there can be different factors that explain what you're trying to look at. And it's the same thing for us. So if we do it for science, why do it for ourselves? You know what I mean? So at least what I'm saying, at least what I'm trying to say, if you want to compare yourself with someone, at least compare yourself with someone that has the same characteristic as you. But you shouldn't compare yourself at all with people. You should compare yourself with what you did in the past and to you, to see your progress, you know, or maybe things that you need to, you know, work on to, you know, all the idea of going on that growth or to grow. So I know some people have role models. I think role models are important, but role models are more than just comparing yourself to that person. I think it's not the same psychological process. But if you have a role model and all you do is, you know, he did that and I couldn't do this, he did that, and you know, negative way, ask yourself questions. Are they really a role model? I'm just, you know, putting this out. Think about it. And since most of the time we're doing it in a negative way, it just makes us feel worthless, not good enough, like, I don't know, all the negative adjectives that you can give to yourself, and it puts you in a position that you cannot succeed. And if from the start you cannot succeed, it's gonna be hard to grow. That's all I'm saying, okay? If that makes sense. So the fifth thing that you might be doing that is causing you unhappiness is dichotomic thoughts, or are dichotomic thoughts. And first of all, what are they? It's black, white, yes or no, good or bad. There's no gray areas, and it's a defense mechanism because it's a bit comforting for everything to be true or untrue or false. So but the thing is, in reality, there's a lot of gray areas, and if you have that mechanism of good or bad, it doesn't transfer well in reality. So it causes you pain. So it causes you pain. But for myself, the way it came was, I was a good student or bad student, but most of the time I was a bad student. And then I started generalizing that thought to everything in my life. I was a bad student, or I was a bad colleague, I was a bad friend, I was a bad, and go on, go on. So you can see how this is not something that makes you happy. You can see the unhappiness in that, and it doesn't work the other way around. Like, it's not because I did a good action that, oh, I was all good, because the negative had more weight for me. And for some people, in certain situations, it can work like that. When they do something good, they're all good, and when they do something bad, they're all bad. But in my situation, it wasn't like that. But you can see how this can cause pain to someone, because my brain was so focusing on the negative, like I said before, and in my dichotomic way of thinking, the moment I do something negative, I was all bad. I couldn't succeed. I couldn't get out of that thing. I was really, drowning in negativity, and I couldn't become positive and go on the other side, and I didn't realize that I was doing that, because I don't consider myself to be someone that does that. I consider myself to be someone that is open-minded, and I really always try to see all the picture in a situation, and not just one side of the story or one way. I always try to have all the factors before me and make my opinions. But when it was about my situation, I couldn't do it, and I didn't realize it until I talked to that therapist, and I really realized how much I was like good. I'm a good student, I'm a bad student. I was like, oh shit, I'm doing this. And I know it's not a good thing. I don't know if there's a way. I think the fact that I've realized that I'm doing it helped me, because now I can, like I said before, with intention, now I can really intentionally decide that I'm gonna analyze my situation the same way I'm analyzing other situations. Why is it that when it comes to others, I look at all the pictures and I look at all the factors that can contribute to their behavior, but when it comes to me, I cannot do the same? So the fact that I know about it makes a huge difference, because I'm aware, I'm more self-aware, and I can be careful. Okay guys, so that was today's video, and I hope you liked it. I hope that someone can find this video to be useful. I hope that, I don't know, it was clear. And this is really personal, so it might not all apply to your situation. And also you can see how all the 5 things that I said, if they are all present in a situation, how it can cause pain, because they are all affect one other. I don't know, if you like that video, give it a like. And if it's something that applies to and you do something different, you can share it in the comment section, and that would be great. Have a nice day. Take care of you.